You wake up and your phone is a literal rock because it is 1850 and you are totally screwed. Your bed is stuffed with itchy straw and the room smells like wet dog and old cabbage. The air outside is thick with coal smoke that burns your lungs with every single breath you take. There are no cars, no sirens, and definitely no Wi-Fi signals bouncing through the atmosphere. But how long can a modern human actually survive without a grocery store? Your first instinct is to grab a glass of water, but that could be your very last mistake. In 1850, water is a liquid lottery where the grand prize is a deadly case of cholera. This is where the story gets truly terrifying for your modern immune system. You have $0 because your plastic credit card is just a useless piece of future garbage here. You need a job immediately, but you don't know how to shoe a horse or operate a steam loom. What happens when the city realizes you don't belong? But nobody could have predicted what happened next to your physical health in this era. Here is the part that sounds made up, but it isn't. People actually ate arsenic to make their skin look pale and fashionable. If you get a headache, the doctor might suggest bloodletting with actual leeches or a dose of mercury. Doctors in 1850 rarely washed their hands between patients because they didn't believe in germs yet. You are essentially walking through a biological minefield every single day. The average workday is 14 hours long and there are no weekends to look forward to. You are competing for jobs with children who are much faster at fixing machines than you are. Can you handle the physical toll of a world without any power tools? Communication is a nightmare because a letter takes 3 weeks to travel across the country by horse. You realize that every person you ever knew hasn't even been born yet. This isolation starts to feel heavier than the smog in the air. What scientists found changed everything about how we view this specific time period in human history. The global population was only 1.2 billion people, which feels incredibly empty compared to our modern world. We are not even at the worst part yet. The smell is the first thing that breaks people who try to imagine living in the past. There are no sewers, so everything people produce ends up right where you are walking. You have to wear heavy boots just to cross the street without getting sick. If you have a toothache, your only option is a barber who will pull it out without any numbing. Pain is just a constant part of life that everyone accepts as totally normal and unavoidable. How much physical agony can a modern person actually endure before they snap? The world is literally expanding, and the California gold rush is in full swing right now. Thousands of people are dying in the dirt just for a chance to find a yellow rock. This is where the desperation of the era becomes very real for you. Stay with me, because what comes next is the part most people never hear about. 1850, crime is rampant because there is no fingerprinting, no DNA testing, and almost no organized police force. If you disappear tomorrow, nobody has the tools to ever find you. Food safety doesn't exist, and milk is often diluted with plaster of Paris to make it look white. You are eating chemicals that would be illegal in the modern world just to stay full. Every meal is a gamble with your stomach and your life. The technology of 1850 is incredibly loud, dangerous, and prone to exploding without any warning at all. Boiler explosions on steamboats kill hundreds of people every single year during this decade. You are surrounded by high-pressure steam and zero safety regulations. When the sun goes down, the world becomes truly dark in a way you have never experienced. Whale oil lamps are expensive, so most people just sit in the shadows until they go to sleep. The silence of a world without electricity is actually deafening. Fashion is a literal prison of heavy fabric, corsets, and layers that make moving around a chore. Here is the part that sounds made up. People rarely bathed more than once a month. You are living in a world of beautiful clothes and incredible body odor. Knowledge is power, but you realize that your modern knowledge of physics or computers is useless here. You can't explain how a smartphone works to someone who hasn't even seen a light bulb yet. You are the smartest person on earth, but you sound like a lunatic. Justice is swift and often very public and brutal compared to what you are used to seeing. People watch executions for entertainment because there are no movies, no TV, and no internet to distract them. The social landscape is just as harsh as the physical one. Winter is a death sentence for the poor, as heating your home requires constant manual labor and money. If the coal runs out, you simply freeze in your bed while the wind whistles through the walls. We're not even at the worst part yet. The average life expectancy is only about 40 years old, meaning you might already be middle-aged here. Your modern perspective makes you realize how much we take for granted every single second of our lives, but there is a way to survive this nightmare. To survive, you must use your knowledge of the future to invent things that are actually possible in 1850. You don't need a microchip. you need to teach people about basic hygiene and boiling their water. This is your ticket to power and safety. By introducing the concept of germ theory early, you could save millions of lives before the century ends. You become a famous doctor not because of surgery, but because you told people to stop drinking sewage. Your weird future habits are actually miracles here. You start to build a small empire based on future logic, like pasteurization and basic electrical experiments. People think you are a wizard, but you are just a person who remembers their high school science class. The world begins to change faster because you are in it. You realize that 1850 isn't just a trap, it's an opportunity to rebuild the world without some of our modern mistakes. You miss your phone, but you don't miss the constant notifications and the social media stress. There is a strange peace in the slow pace of life. The stars at night are brighter than anything you have ever seen in the 21st century. Without light pollution, the Milky Way looks like a glowing river of milk across the entire sky. You are seeing the universe exactly as it was meant to be seen. Suddenly, you hear a familiar buzzing sound and the feeling of a soft mattress underneath your back. You open your eyes and realize you are back in your own room. In the present day, your phone is sitting right there on the nightstand. You take a sip of clean water and realize that you are living in the most pampered era of human history. We complain about slow internet, but we don't have to worry about dying from a glass of water. Next time you're bored, just remember, at least it isn't 1850.